actually took the time to read through that case, and I came out and I explained everything to everyone slowly. The Hollywood pedophile ring conspiracy theory runs in parallel to the idea that there is an elite group of individuals in this country that are so powerful.
Andrew and Tristan Tate were arrested by federal authorities on Saturday in Miami.
They go,
the brothers,
unpunished.
Have been wanted in the United Kingdom.
They're constantly trying to rehabilitate pedophiles,
where they face rape and human trafficking charges.
Human sex trafficking occur on the indictment. Jeffrey Epstein has been accused. He hasn't been charged of any crime. If you trick a woman of trafficking into coming into a country by using the lover boy method, it's not what we think about in America. It's egregious what happened here, and then they consider that to be human sex trafficking. I'm a mom now. I don't care if you think he's a misogynist. Oh, this was the most important thing to me. If he's a sexist, he was figuring out where the pedophiles are. He's a racist, none of that actually matters in our society. He's welcome here. After 3 years of Romania, the amount of people that are weighing in on your Romanian case, there are some themes here that are hard to ignore. So the definition has definitely expanded. I just want my kids to grow up in a world that's not run by people who protect pedophiles and human traffickers. Is that so much to ask?
Howdy ho there, neighbors. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Edie. I hope you're all having a wonderful Sunday. What you been doing? Relaxing? Tell me everything. I know that yesterday I said that I would see you on Monday, but I wanted to hop on here because I missed you, number one. Number two, wanted to talk about the tea that spilled last night. About Andrew Tate getting arrested. Hallelujah, praise Jehovah. I love America. I am not a Tate expert. I knew just enough that he's an ex-trafficker, all-around awful human. I didn't know the in-depth details. So I spent today trying to come up to speed. I mean, I couldn't do thorough research because there's not enough time in a day. But I have enough, I think. Wow, can you imagine getting arrested in this outfit? Purple satin and teeny tiny trousers with shoes that look like they're painted on your feet. There's no room for socks in there. And he's in Florida. Every step is probably like walking through a swamp. You gotta wear socks. You gotta wear socks with them. Don't wear those shoes. What are you wearing? What are you wearing? Dressed like a woman? It's reminiscent of that the Office episode where Michael was wearing a women's suit and Pam was like, the pants don't have pockets. How embarrassing. Oh my word. He's a despicable human. Who could defend this man? Who could defend him? I'm surprised he can even find an attorney. I would not defend this man. But guess who would? Candy Cane. I remember her when she was at the Daily Wire. She was criticizing the women who were alleging that Andrew Tate and his brother ex-trafficked them and abused them and RAPED them. She was defending that. And I was shocked. I'm surprised the Daily Wire even let her have him on. It's strange. Anyway, yeah, Candy is a staunch defender of Andrew Tate. She loves him. And apparently, Tate brothers are good friends with her husband, Georgie. Does he have purple satin in that closet, Candace? Does he? Does he have pilgrim shoes that require Vaseline to get on his feet? Because they're just too tight. Does he? You've been very quiet over there today. You haven't said anything about this. Why? Why haven't you said anything about this? We're going to watch an old episode from last year wherein Candy had Andy on to chit-chat about this. And notice her octave gets higher. She gets very emotional. What you're about to see is an unbelievably emotional response. Okay? And this is why women cannot be CEOs of companies. They cannot be business owners. They cannot run anything. They will run it into the ground with their emotions. The Trail of My Tears. I think it's Tracks of My Tears is the song title, right? Okay. My mom used to sing that song. Hippity hop into this. Hippity hop, the fun don't stop. Hip hop, hip hop, hippity dippy hip. All right, so this was not what we had planned for this evening. Obviously, we were going live tonight because we were going to cover Trump speaking, and we'll still get there, obviously, whatever he presents in front of the joint Congress. But then some news broke on X that Florida, and I thought it was a joke. I thought I was being pranked, that Florida has decided to move to criminally investigate Andrew Tate. Now,
Andrew Tate is joining us, and I just want to at first give you guys the background here because it's egregious what happened here. I don't care about your opinions about Andrew Tate. I don't care if you think he's a misogynist, if he's a sexist, if you think he's a racist. None of that actually matters, okay? Because you think about what would be the circumstance if Trump traveled to New York, ends the presidency, travels to New York, his plan lands, and leftists just start freaking out. How, I don't want him back in this state. I don't want him here. This is ridiculous. And then the governor moves to host a press conference, which Ron DeSantis did in Florida, as soon as Tristan and Andrew Tate landed, and said, I'm going to have my attorney general look into him because we don't want him here. He's not welcome here. This is what Ron DeSantis did. He's not welcome here. What do you mean he's not welcome here? He's a U.S. citizen. He's a U.S. passport. He's welcome here. Okay, he hasn't been charged of any crimes overseas, irrespective of what you think about him. Of course, he's welcome here. And so Ron DeSantis says that, and literally a couple of days later, the attorney general announces that, yes, in fact, and can we pull that tweet up, Skylar, if you got it? He tweets this tonight. He tweets, last week, so yes, literally at the moment that neocons started freaking out in the state of Florida, I directed my office to work with our law enforcement partners to conduct a preliminary inquiry into Andrew and Tristan Tate. Now you're going, is this Stalin tweeting this, Candace? Is this in America? Or are we in Russia right now? What's going on? Nope, let's keep reading. This is actually America. This happened in Florida. He then continues his tweet with, based on a thorough review of the evidence. Oh, it's only been a couple of days. They move quickly. I've directed the Office of Statewide Prosecution to execute search warrants and issue subpoenas in the now active criminal investigation into the Tate brothers. Show me the man and I will show you the crime. Attorney General James Uthmeyer. And then before we bring Andrew on, I also want to run the clip of what Ron DeSantis said. Okay. Again, Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate have not been convicted of any crimes overseas. So I don't care about investigations that are ongoing or videos that you saw on X. They are returning home and they are responding to an outrage mob. Okay, Ron DeSantis is being texted by a bunch of his neocon lieutenants. And this is what he had to say at his press conference.
There's some reporting out there that controversial podcaster and accused human trafficker Andrew Tate may be on his way to Florida. Is he welcome here? What could the state do to send him back to Romania or whatever?
Well, we have no involvement in that. I read about it through the media. Clearly, the federal government has jurisdiction, whether they want to rebuff his entry into the United States, and I have confidence that whether it's Pam Bondi or Christine Young, they will be looking at that. I do know our Attorney General, James Uthmeyer, is looking at what state hooks and jurisdiction we may have to be able to deal with this. But the reality is no, Florida is not a place where you're welcome with that type of conduct out in the air. And I don't know how it came to this. We were not involved. We were not notified. I found out from the media that this was something that was happening.
So there you have it, you guys. He just instantly said, we're going to go after him and we will make something happen. And they did it in a couple of days. Andrew, I want to bring you in right now to respond to this. I'm shocked. I can't even imagine how you're feeling right now. You're probably finally thought after 3 years of Romania just essentially saying you're not allowed to leave your house, took them forever to even bring charges against you, that when you land on American soil, okay, great, at least I'm in a place where there will be due process and there won't be these sorts of witch hunts.
Yeah, I believed it was the land of the free and the home of the brave. And I was extremely disappointed when I landed. I'm not intimidated by these people because I don't even know what jurisdiction they believe they have. I think this is the second time I've been to Florida in my life. Before this, I was here for 3 days. So I don't know what they're intending, but I am extremely disappointed. I am genuinely disappointed that after flying to my home nation, the country I was born in, the country my father served for, the country I hold the passport of, they've decided, because of media spin and slurs, to instantly attack me. And very correctly, as you pointed out, this is not a matter of trying to solve a crime. They can't even identify a crime. They're just trying to pin something on me because they don't like me. And what happened when I landed is that as I left the airport, my electronics were seized, which I'm assuming are the search warrants he's talking about. So my phones and laptops were already seized before I even saw the media. The second I landed, state police took all of my electronics, took everything, and told me there was an open investigation into me. I guess this is the search warrants he's talking about. So if you pull back up his tweet, it's very interesting. He says, based on preliminary investigations. Well, the preliminary investigations, there we go. Last week, I directed my office to work with our law enforcement partners to conduct a preliminary inquiry into Andrew and Tristan Tate. That's not true, because you didn't even know I was coming to Florida. So that is a lie, sir. What you did is you found old YouTube videos I made, which I have debunked 1,500 times. But of course, the enemy always ignores the debunk and just continues to play them on repeat over and over. Use them as an excuse to seize all of my electronics on landing. Turns out I was absolutely and utterly wrong.
You know, a couple of things frustrate me about this. The first thing is the amount of people that are weighing in on your Romanian case who have never read, they have no idea what the case is about. And the first way that you know that they don't know what it's about is because they keep showing videos of you from before the time that they're even referring to on the case. Like I actually took the time to read through that case, and I came out and I explained everything to everyone slowly with, names, details, everything. And I said, here is why I do not think that this case is going to go through in Romania. I think I made a prediction years ago that it was going to get dismissed because of a lack of evidence. Okay. And I got hammered for that. Oh, Candace, look at this video of him here. Guys, I don't care about it. If I'm the person doing the Harvey Weinstein series, I don't care about anything but the actual evidence that is in the case. And I'm telling you what I am looking at, and it's not good. Then that happens. Then the courts agree with me years later, and they say there's not enough evidence, so we're going to send it back down. We're going to overturn this, and you're going to have to bring up new charges. We're still going to keep this open, whatever it is that they say. And there's no like, oh, okay, maybe there's something here that I'm missing. Maybe I should actually, if I'm this passionate about Andrew Tate and I hate him so much, maybe I should try to read and understand what it is they're prosecuting against in Romania. No, they don't want to do work.
Okay. They don't want to do work. This is a pot kettle situation if ever I saw one. Goodness gracious. My first question is, Andy, you said they brought up old YouTube videos that I made, that I have debunked several times. What do you mean? How do you debunk videos that you made?
Somebody make that make sense.
Secondly, why was his lip going? Did you guys notice that? He's always weirded me out, just the way that he looks. And have you noticed that both of them have the same eyes? Dead. Void of any humanity. Candace, you are utterly despicable. Utterly despicable. And by the way, Andrew, this is the greatest country that's ever existed. It's the land of the free, home of the brave, free because of the brave. How dare you try to condemn this country when you are the problem? Good for Florida. Good for Florida. Everybody should be that way. We don't want you here. We don't want you and your evil here. There's another episode of Candace back when she was at the Daily Wire. Hold on, somebody's at the door. So sorry about that. Where was I? Oh, there's an old episode from Daily Wire. She's done a few sit-downs with Andrew Tate, all of which have been so gross. It's like, why bother even doing this if you're not going to ask the hard questions? She was going over the charges. This foul, perverse, rebellious woman tried to really manipulate what was in the charging documents or the indictment or whatever she was reading. She was like, yes, it does say, yes, on the paper that you're being accused of human X trafficking. But then they go on to say it's not the kind of X trafficking we're thinking about where you put a bunch of kids in a van and shuttle them across the border to be sold. No, they're saying that you coerced women into coming from other countries to meet you with the promise of marriage or romantic relationship of some sort, stability, a future. And then you proceeded to manipulate them, coerce them, abuse them into doing what you wanted them to do, which was webcamming to make that paper. She said that. She's like, it's just not this. So they've broadened the scope of X trafficking, human X trafficking. So you weren't putting children in vans and shuttling them across the way. You were just luring women over here, vulnerable women from third world countries. And then you were abusing them. This fool probably thinks that children stop being children at like 12. Or she said before that she lived with a boyfriend when she was 14. Guaranteed. She looks down on victims who are over the age of 12. Well, they gave consent to do that. They cannot give consent. That's why there are age of consent laws in place. You can, if you are under the age of, just where I am, it's 18. Some places it's different. If you're under the age of 18, you cannot give consent. It doesn't matter if a 17-year-old says, yeah, I want to do that. I want a webcam for you. They don't have the ability to give consent. You idiot. All she does every day is talk about Israel and the deep state, and they protect PDFs, and they protect ex-traffickers. And she goes on and on about Epstein, which Andrew Tate probably worships Jeffrey Epstein. Hold on, someone's at the door again. So sorry. Anyway, and the Tate brothers probably love Epstein. They were probably taking notes. They want their own island. Come on, Candace, you hypocrite. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites. This woman who professes Christ is king in a blasphemous, heretical way, because Christ, yes, is king. Jesus Christ, who is God incarnate, born of a virgin, walked this earth sinless, tempted as we are, but never sinned, took a punishment on a cross meant for us because we are all worthy of death and hell. There is no one good, no, not one. He laid down his life. Nobody took it from him. And after he was killed, he was put into a tomb. And on the third day, that tomb was empty because he resurrected in body from the dead. And people testified to seeing him, being with him. They were willing to die for their testimonies of having seen and been with Jesus. And then he ascended to the right hand of the Father where he now reigns. And he is coming back soon. So yes, Christ is indeed king. But she doesn't believe that. She does not know the living God. She would not be able to say such foolishness if she did. She's defending ex-traffickers and PDFs. And she attacks the victims. That is utterly disgusting. And if you are still defending this woman, you are disgusting as well. I'm so sorry to tell you. There is no excuse. Stop defending her when she's indefensible. She doesn't care because he wasn't convicted. He was charged. Honey, she's ready to burn the place down with the emails that she's received. Emails that she herself probably writes. But she doesn't heavily vet them. She's upset that they did a thorough investigation in a couple of days. Every time she gets an email, she thoroughly investigates it and then presents it as fact and then never backtracks when she's proven wrong on the evidence. She's going by the evidence. You're not going by the evidence in the Charlie Kirk case. Why? You think it's all hogwash. But now you're going by the evidence and you want to protect a deplorable human being who has victimized women when you have a daughter? Candace hates women. She projects her own insecurities onto her daughter, likely. And that is so damaging and is dangerous. Correct me if I'm wrong. She only has one daughter. The rest are boys. I would be willing to bet everything that I have on the fact that she prioritizes her sons and kind of dismisses her daughter. She doesn't like women. She doesn't like herself. She thinks women are weak because she thinks that she is weak and she comes after them. Let me tell you, I am not a feminist. Can I tell you that? Real talk. Real talk. I love men. I think men are, I'm going to strike a nerve here with some people. I think men are important. And man was created first. Adam came first and then came Eve. Eve was the one who was deceived, not Adam. Men do the heavy lifting. Well, they're supposed to. And they serve an important role in society. I have a great deal of respect for men who are actually men. I'm not talking about you fake men, because there are. Just like there are bad women, there are bad men. They should be called out, for sure, for sure. But I am by no means a feminist. I am a strong supporter of gender roles. I've said many times, honey, if you're with me, I don't want you to lift a finger. I don't want you to lift a finger. Baby doll, you want a snack? I will make you a snack. You want me to do this or that? I'm happy to do that while you rest because you've been working all week. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I love gender roles. It's actually beautiful. And femininity is something to be celebrated. I love being feminine and celebrating the masculine. I don't want to be masculine. Candace is one big old She-Hulk. For sure. She hates women. She loves when women are targeted. She likes when they are victimized. She will go to the ends of the earth to defend the perpetrators, the criminals. She is willing to do anything she can to protect them, to speak up for them. The criminals, but not the victims. She'll name the victims. She'll protect the perpetrator's identity. It's disgusting. You are disgusting, Candace. Each and every day, you disgust me even more. Only the Lord can save you. Only He can turn that heart of stone into a heart of flesh. You're bitter, you're hateful, you're vengeful. You have an ugly, unkind heart, an ugly spirit. There's no kindness in you. There's no empathy or compassion in you because you are a malignant narcissist. You can only maintain superficial charm for so long before you're found out, and then you have to jump ship. Now you're on this kick where, guys, it's coming, where she is going to have her own little plot of land where all of her followers can come and worship her. This is a cult. She is a cult leader. She endorses other cult leaders because Andrew Tate and his brother run a cult. You lure women over here and you make your videos on the lover boy method. and you offer, pimp and hose degree. You take money from gullible young men who are trying to find their way in this world and who maybe don't have a strong male figure in their lives. And you manipulate them. And you teach them how to victimize women. You just spread your hate for women across the masses. The Tate brothers should be in jail for a long time. How can you all defend this woman, you Candies? How can you defend this being who goes on and on about PDFs running Hollywood and just Hollywood, politics, every single thing? She calls Israel a PDF nation. And here's an actual PDF sitting across from her, and she has nothing to say, no pushback to give. She celebrates him. She sympathizes with him, and she talks badly about the women that he has brutalized. But we're not surprised by that, right? Because look how she's treated a widow for almost a year. She's despicable. You are the company you keep. Evil company corrupts good morals. And if you're celebrating this woman and supporting her, you need the Lord. Don't go by what this foul, perverse, rebellious being says to you. You know, trauma, especially actual trauma, is so debilitating. And if you haven't been through it or known someone who's been through it, there's no way for you to understand the toll that it takes on you. It's, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I was going to get that upset. I had to step away for a moment. I encourage you to look up some stories of women who've been victimized. And look up stories of women who were victimized over a long period of time, starting when they were young. Starting when they were very, very young. Andrew Tate, his girlfriend, met her when she was 15. 15. Do you remember when you were 15? Treating women like things. I don't like being treated like a thing. Do you? Okay. So then why are you supporting this creature? Why would you ever support Andrew and his brother in their perversion? Scripture tells us there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of money, lovers of themselves, rebellious. Wickedness will run rampant. It's just going to get worse. So as Christians, we know that. But it's still hard to see, even though you know it's coming. I'm so happy that he was arrested. I hope they put him under the jail. He needs no freedom. You and your purple satin shirt, get out of here. What do you think about this? Were you as elated as I was to see him bum rushed and put in cuffs? Okay, let me know. I love you so. I'm going to post a video, short of making halter tops because somebody requested that. I love you very much, everyone. Have a great evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.